issues of Liberia hit the news.
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
The Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspra Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive.
Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blending the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without a diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call some numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk, don't miss out. And I tell you, welcome. We had a serious technical issue here. Technology is a crazy thing indeed. Glitches do happen. And thanks to all of you who were there signaling us. And later on, we actually had to, restart the entire stream. But we're here on our Facebook, our YouTube, and the KMTV official app. If you have not yet downloaded our KMTV app, please go on to your app store, whether it is on iPhone, your Android, your TV, your smart TV, any smart device. Just search KMTV Liberia in the app store. There, it's on the Amazon Fire Stick, the Roku, and everywhere we are on there. You can just download and enjoy the app on the go. With 27 days to go to our elections, it is getting super crazy and hot across Liberia. Political parties are making their runs. The rescue team is still there in the Western Belt, even though former Vice President Joseph Boaka, we understand, had to leave for some regional, meetings with regional partners. We understand, but his rescue too is continuing the campaign. Jeremiah Kung, will listen to him in an interview with journalists in Grand Cape County, and also Mr. Alexander Bennett Cummings is running around Monrovia, Musserata County precisely. This morning, he had an interview with 50-50 Team Ajilate. We will bring you an excerpt of that interview where he talked about his style of campaigning, not so much about putting the crowds into a bigger field, but he's talking about reaching the people on what many Liberians call the Jehovah's Witness style. Also, President Weah is in the home county of his running mate. Vice President Jua Howard Taylor is taking her bus across Bon County. But the National Elections Commission is out with information that, they have started to receive materials for the October 10 general and presidential election. Ballot boxes and other things have arrived. I don't know what to do with those materials after elections, Nathan.
Well, they have to store them, and because people will do a protest, they will file protests, maybe for wrong ballot counting. So they have to store them for a exact number of time before they can discard.
I'm talking about like ballot boxes. Now, I'm not talking about ballot papers, the boxes. Why should we always procure new amount of materials every time? Because I don't know whether these things are coming from out of the country, but next year they've started to arrive. Probably they got them somewhere keeping, but they've started to arrive at the warehouses. Training materials are also arriving in the country, like sample ballot papers. But the campaigns are also doing their own education.
Yes, again, election is a big process. It's not just a one-way thing. So even from the securing of the ballot boxes, because each of them should have a series number, right? So all of these things must be known by partners and everything who get what. So even if it comes to the country, how to distribute them, because remember they're having over 5,800 polling places. Mm-hmm. It's now a small amount of area. They have to ensure that these ballots are allotted to counties or in a person center should be the one that they gave. So all the political parties should know, hey, because that's why when they break the seal, They have to write down.
You
the
have to
numbers.
write down the numbers
So
of
those
those.
who've been doing election know the importance of of these things. So indeed, this is election. It must be free, fair, and transparent. As we were speaking earlier before our broadcast was not having audio. Election is about the people. Like this famous quote I always say, election is about the people. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. We need to ensure that, hey, we use the ballot. This is election time. All of the campaign is necessary right now.
And the campaigns are going on. People are rolling their sleeves at these climate dates, and we see the president out there showing his jobs. The opposition. I saw you compiled this clip. I don't know whether it was you but this was out there with DeLong versus Twe. Let's see whether we can roll it. It sounds funny to me indeed, but these are some of the things that they do, and Liberian politics is just so fun.
Here with few group of persons, and the son they give a title.
Lord, you two language did an excellent job, so I will not spend.
Why they were getting another 10, but they couldn't say anything.
But Mr. President, I will say that this is the territory that
Let me tell you why we, by the grace of God, through Joseph Nima Bwaka, will make joy we are wanting.
when the issue is about electricity, and the issue is about road, and the issue is about education.
And I tell you, and like I was telling somebody, we are not ready seeing, like candidates should be out there presenting a platform, to the Liberian people. But this time, is it strange? We're not seeing that.
I mean, in campaign, you need to know how to craft your message. You got to know your audience. What do persuade your audience, right? Just a slogan. That's what they need, right? So they don't need, people can say, oh, that big book. They don't need that. Just that one or two slogan that you can be able to resonate, or can be able to change their mind. There's something called memory muscles. So indeed, people already know that, hey, George Weah want to build more roads. He want to continue his legacy, and he want to improve, pay the Watson fee for students. He want to improve hospitals, send people out of the country for studies and stuff. That's just the thing. People already know the Alexander B. Cummings and the Joseph Boyka or the Tier 1 Gongolo. People, they want to kick George Weah, or like you're saying, you heard Darius Dillon saying, we want to make George Weah one-term president. And this is also scary for the CDC. When these comments are coming, it makes me, oh no, we cannot be one-term. We need to have 12 years to show these people we are supreme. So indeed, it's indeed a battle. So just the comment alone, right? You say you rescue where I have rescued our people before XYZ. So we don't need all of these speeches. Our people, they just want to be taken away by just that one message for them.
So everybody crafting a message, I mean, based on
the
what
audience.
the audience.
If you listen in Bon County, the message is different. If you listen in Grand Cape County, from Monrovia, the message is different. So that's how they go. Even if you go back, President George Weah, his message in Todman was different from what he's preaching in Bon County. Senator Prince Johnson, the message he's preaching in Nema County is different from what Jeremiah Kuhn, because he was there for 1 month in Nema County. The message he was preaching in Nema County is about us, our time now. In Grand Cape County, they cannot carry that same message there, right? They need to craft that. So indeed, the county, the people you talk to, they are all different, and you got to know how to send that message.
And we will listen to some of the messages, but on a sad note, we saw this coming out of Bon County today. Reportedly from the campaign team of the CDC, where 2 people reportedly died on a pickup. A CDC pickup. It is not yet confirmed. Like we said earlier on, the political party, the CDC campaign, has not yet confirmed whether or not this was from their own vehicle. But we see the pickup here. We see the 2 guys lying in the back of this pickup. We know earlier on
the pickup is branded.
Branded with the CDC. That's why a lot of people say it's from that. But we think safety matters in this election period, and this reaction from President President Weah at somebody at one of his campaign grounds. At apparently somebody was trying to climb up on something, and this was his reaction. Let's listen to him.
Hello? Sure. I said, oh, my man, you think when I'm going to anybody, I said, get down now. Get down. Yeah. Get down. You, get down. Get down. I won't safety. If I won't safety, get down. Okay, get down. If that's in pray, they'll say we'll sacrifice people again.
And I tell you, that was what he was. If that breaks, you heard his concluding statement. If that breaks, they will say we sacrifice people again, because people are saying that the CDC is doing sacrifices and all those kind of things. And I mean, that was his reaction to that. But on the back of, at his campaign, like I said, the political parties themselves are providing education to their people. I saw this photograph this morning, but I don't know whether that's the right way to go with this sensitization, informing their people on how to vote. This was from one of the Unity Party's billboard. If you look at the photograph later, the Unity Party drew up this. Probably put the wrong or different people on the different spaces on the ballot, except for Jeremiah Kuhn and Joseph Newman Boyka, and all of the other icons, what they're supposed to be political party logos, a couple of different things. But like you are saying, this was how they crafted their own form of educating their voters.
So that's what I was saying. When people stick their eyes on something, muscle memory, when they see that red, that only that red they're looking for. So that's how they craft it. They don't want to see anybody face to confuse them. So that's why you see people calling their number 18, 2, 6, 17. Just find that number on the ballot. So indeed, that's their own way of crafting a message to make sure that's why people go on campaign, so people can see them. That's why people spend thousands of dollars and millions of dollars in billboards and posters and stickers. So it's not just because they just want to do it. They want, so you see that person, what are the person in black and white, you can say, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the picture they were talking about.
We see some people on Facebook, and so you see them in person,
real person,
like, oh, okay, I know this person. So indeed, that's the campaign message.
But I mean, we hope it's resonating with their people, because these are things that people go to the polls, they look for and who to vote for. And on the other hand, Eugene Nangbe, the campaign head of the CDC in Bond County, earlier today also did some education on their campaign. Let's bring you this clip.
You count from 1 to 18. If I could speak better right now, but I can, I'll start counting. Now who will help me if I also can? In Pella, you can't speak better, say now. Oh, coordinator. Now go, donate together. Okay, everybody join. If you can speak better, join. You can carry English, We're going together. Okay, come on, Lulu. Ta, Vela, Java, Na, Nolu, Menda, Mevera, Mehawa, Mena, Pu, Puatono, Puahea, Puahawa, Puana, Pualolu, Puameda, Puamea, Puamehawa. Puamehawa. Regional. Then you see this. You see the CDC badge. That is on the ballot. When you count them, when you reach it, what you see. The scene where the thing looking. You see the CDC badge. And you see the president. And you see the blue coat on him. It will be on him the same way. With a red necktie. With the glasses on his face. Oh my, you can see the Abba from down there. You see the Abba shining? With the sabu. You will see all. So you can't miss him. Then the VP, your own daughter. And you see her dress. A blue too. Fine dress. With a fine hater. Her face say if you are missing I'll get fair, because look at her face, just like chocolate milk. And you see it? Then after all that I play the empty box with Bio. What you do? Yeah. Okay, we print one. You see, yeah, the paper small, we made a P1 and we send it here. When you vote like this and you cross it join the two line and an invalid vote. So when you checking it or you using crossbar, they be in the center of the box. Yeah, okay. I said, and two microphone guy.
All right, Neto, you saw that Eugene Nangwe taking it, like you said, crafting the message to what the people will understand. He was smart enough to have asked for somebody to speak in Pele. The Pele people in podcast, they listen to the numbers counting from 1 to 18 in Pele. And further going back to tell the people what the president will be wearing, what their daughter will be wearing. And he went as far as talking about how to mark the ballot paper. And apart from the neck on, sensitization, the political parties themselves are taking the bull by the horns.
Indeed, it's important, Cyrus. Like when he was saying that, it reminded me of one election I covered. The other guy kicked us out from voting. Jubilating. Oh, we finished voting, man. Okay, welcome, man. Out of ELBC. How was it, bro? It was cool.
I boss it.
Then you know, with you in I see that one. I boss it. I see that comment. I just crossing X. I see my guy get here knock.
That dude, he's already created a whole invalid vote right there. And his essence of being over there that day was just a wasted one indeed. So Liberians out there, that's one thing you have to do. And the political parties are doing it. Make sure you can educate your people on how to vote, because you don't want more invalid votes, especially from Montserrat County.
I mean,
everywhere matters, but Montserrat indeed.
So
when the really invalid votes,
educated, don't say that. Don't say Montserrat alone. No, so it's everyone.
It's kind of sad indeed. We need to put more time into educating the people on how to, do the voting process so as to avoid invalid votes, so that more votes can count positively than negatively.
Yeah, because we only have about 2 million and over 2 million or little over 2 million people who are voting out of the 4.7 million, according to our controversial census report, still being debated around Liberia. So indeed, election is important. That's why we are emphasizing, as political parties are going out campaigning and informing the people how to vote, they must also send a message that this election must be peaceful. And, sometimes you got to let bygone be bygone. So even if you see other people campaigning, so also messages of peace must also be sent, not just saying this is how we're going to do it, because just that campaigning process is another thing. Election day is another thing. Because if people do not coordinate themselves, already we don't have the security apparatus.
And I listen to some of the leaders, some of them are even lawmakers on the campaign, telling their people, if you vote, you must stay there and mind your vote. Those kind of messages. What else do we expect the common people to do? If you tell maybe 500 people register at a precinct or more to vote and stay there to mind their votes, what message are we sending?
Well, I think it's just the way the message is going, but I think what it means is that because one of who will close by 6 o'clock, so some area will not open soon. They will definitely extend the time. And again, when these ballot boxes are being counted, people use flyers.
Have your observers.
Have your observer. But again, we need to ensure that those, because observers who are there, they know how to weigh up. Because when that ballot is leaving that center, coming to another clan or town and stuff, so that's how they're saying it. But the message must be clear. When
it must be clear. Mind your vote.
Do you go?
When you vote, stay there and mind your vote. Those are messages that we shouldn't be hearing, especially from people who should be leaders. Political parties should put money into pool washers. Put money into educating your pool washers. Training.
I saw 3% budget for in Montserrat County. They won about 75,000. The other person won about 55,000. The other person won about 30,000. I love it. People in the diaspora to support each center. And some of the budget I said, like, they need $1,000 to sustain a center. So you need people. For example, people in other districts that have 52, 42 centers, they need about that 1,000 times, times 52 centers. They need that money. So they are loving. Election is about money.
It's about money.
People who will be there, you got to ensure they have integrity.
They have to be fed. They have to be transported.
And that war room, it must be prompt.
It must be prompt and up to the tax indeed. So we'll take this very quick break. When we come back, we will see whether we can hear some of the messages that on the campaign from the candidates. Pack Liquor Outlet is proud to be associated with Diaspora Talk, thanks to Jackson George and his team who are making it work. Let's bring you this advertisement from Park Liquor Outlet. Also, Mama T's Restaurant. If you are visiting Minnesota and looking for somewhere to have a lunch or dinner, or just that meal, the real Liberian taste, African taste, Mama T's Restaurant in Brooklyn Park is a place to be. But let's bring you this one from Park Liquor Outlet. We will be right back. Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or ride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
This is a show that delves into the lives of politicians beyond their political personas. This show is putting aside the debates and the policies, but instead we'll get candid, raw, and unfiltered with our presidential and vice presidential candidates. I'm your host, Shoana Cashel. Join me for Candidates Unfiltered, the person, not the politics.
And I tell you, Candidates Unfiltered with Shoana Cashel is wonderful indeed. We've been hearing some stories of the candidates, some of those who made themselves available. At the end of the show, we'll be closing with a raw talent of one of the candidates in these elections who was on Candidates Unfiltered. But we back here, Nathan Charles and I, on this edition of Diaspora Talk. And like I said, we're going to be bringing you some of the messages from some of the candidates. President we are in Bond County. We will bring you an excerpt of his rally there. We'll also bring an interview with Jeremiah Kuhn and Alexander Cummings, who was also on the 50-50 with T. Mazrate this morning when he talked about his style of campaigning and what Liberians are seeing from the Cummings brown-skin campaign team. But this was President George Weah in Bond County, the home of his running mate, Vice President Joe Howard Taylor.
No, I don't do drugs. I'm a sportsman. I don't do drugs. Now, 71 years ago, there were no drugs in Liberia. If you check our record, this government in the 5 years, every day they're arresting those that bring drugs and other. What we doing that they didn't do, when we get the drugs, we arrest those people and burn them right away. What they did, when they have it, they keep it. We are on record. So don't let them lie to you. A few years ago, I was not the one that the chief of security had a drug in a car going to Sierra Leone. We were not in power. A few years ago, it's not our complaining that they will close the graveyard down Central Street because drugs in Central Street. I was not in power. So how now today drugs coming to Liberia, they say that George Weah government. People, innocent people are doing wrong things and they get caught up. Now they're accusing George Weah of killing people. How can George Weah, George Manuel Weah, peace ambassador, the man that fear God, will kill somebody child? If I look at my children, okay, I can play the children. I can take one of my children, okay, then why would I go to kill somebody child? So don't let them fool. And the people that tell you, these are the people that kill innocent people in this country. And they're on record. I'm not on record. The only thing I'm on record for, somebody kicking me in the 18-year box or a school, that's what I'm on record for. It's the only thing I'm on record for. I'm on record today for being the first president to build more hospital than any president in the history of Liberia. I'm on record to be the first president to pay children YSP for the first time in the history of the country. I'm on record to be the first president to build more hospital than any president in the history of the country.
The Justice Ministry was out with a statement recently saying that what was arrested at RIA was actually proved to be drugs that was taken into the country. We know there was some issue with the chief of security involved. We understand was the one who reportedly helped to protect this from the termite into a lot of things. And now on the back of this, you listen to President, we are in Bond County.
I think the chief of security of RIA denies involvement, and the joint security is currently investigating the situation. So we hope that this will be laid to rest, meaning who inputted the drugs and everything like that, because it's just, they say, he said, she said. There are video cameras, evidence, linking from the AF guy who reported the situation and everything. So we hope that the situation will be brought to its conclusion. The issue of drugs in Liberia is an old age thing. We know that the war years, Liberia has poor borders, and indeed, that's why we elect new leadership. That's why we elect new leadership, so people can come into power to be able to elect, to be able to bring about change in our country. So President George, we are saying drugs been in Liberia for years, from Central Street, in naming other areas. This is not the message we want to hear. That's how we elect new leaders who will come and transform our country. Indeed, politicians will always run with these kind of things. But what are the steps taken as a president to curtail these things? So it's still because there were stealing before, so it means that stealing should continue. You came on the platform of change of hope. Why you should be telling our people now some of the policy you have put into place, system like the drugs law passed, the this, the that, the improving our security apparatus, tracking down, bringing about transparency. These are the messages we need to be hearing from this government. It convenes more people. But if you start comparing yourself with Ellen Johnson government or Charles Taylor regime, that's why people voted you. That's why people kicked them out. And, so we need to be hearing more of that. Indeed, yeah. Everybody knows Central Street. Mary Bro was running behind people,
chasing people up and down
so,
with this whole drugs
and things. So we need to ensure that our country comes first.
So that was President Weah on his campaign trip. But let me bring you this excerpt of an interview with Rescue 2. They call him Jeremiah Kpankun, the vice running mate of the Unity Party, who is leading the party's campaign in the absence of his tender bearer who's out of the country, on some engagement across the sub-region, according to the Unity Party campaign team. But this was Jeremiah Kuhn when he visited Grand Cape County. He spoke with journalists on the side of their campaign there in Western Liberia.
I think it's good. Our people are resolved. The people want change. They want something new. And you can see them clamoring for it. I mean, last night up to 12 midnight, the people were still out in the street. You were there. You are witness. And they're telling all they want nothing from us. All they want is Ambassador Boakai to take over the country and see how he can change things to make sure the country is better for everybody. So I think it's good.
You rode along the rubber sports road. This is a road that the government has posted of rehabilitating. You ride on the road. What's your take about the road? And if the JKK and the GNB ticket win this elections, how will you tackle this particular road of the road?
So you the journalist, you the best person to explain it. Sometimes when we say it, somebody will say, "Oh, that politics." So you the journalist being the society watchdog. I mean, you the best person to explain about the road. Cape Town, especially Ravensport, is a tourist center. And if that road is paved and hotels and things, you got a nice beach here. This place is a tourist destination, and I think it requires some investment in the road to attract a lot of people to this city. I mean, where I slept last night, it's a getaway. It's something you always want to do. I wish I would always come back here for weekends. And so this place is a nice place. Once you invest in that road and get a road done, people will come here. As they come here, they will sleep in hotel, they will buy food, somebody will make money somewhere, something will be happening. And so Ambassador Braga is already committed to road. I mean, the road president we are doing now, he already from Ambassador Braga. 2017, everywhere Ambassador Braga went, when they asked me, he said road, road, road. And when President we are he didn't understand it. Instead of him asking questions, he didn't understand it. He just John start doing road and he has gone nowhere with roads. And so those places he needed to invest in roads to make sure you can yield the result that citizens will feel it. It's not happening. And those are things that are haunting him today.
And I tell you, Jeremiah Kwankun there in Western Liberia, and he was talking about some of the things he's seen in that part. And it's very 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 crazy in the crazy season. We getting some glitches here. I know you're there, we're here, and we're doing everything to get it going through on this edition of the program. And I know people are there saying, what's going on. These are some of the challenges we face when we put ourselves out here on this edition of on the program Diaspora. We're getting a lot of glitches, but yet and still, that's what we have to do. We're gonna call it a day very soon. Well, like we promised, there is something special from one of the candidates. We want to leave you with this because I know there are a lot going on, and with these glitches, we cannot just keep off and on. We say thanks to those of you who continue to stick with us. Thanks for being there on this edition. We will be back here on Friday. But at the time, we know everything will be working very well for us. Our team is working. Let's give you this. The presidential candidates in this election. Yeah, one of the presidential candidates, and this is something that he's doing. His natural talent, indeed.
And, I saw him swimming. He floated on the water for almost 15-20 minutes on the water.
You kidding me?
Yes, I was like 15 plus minutes. He's floating on the water on his back.
Yes, Councilor Tiawanse Gonglo, we call him a friend of the media. So we'll leave you with this one until Friday when we are back here. But Friday, we're going to be doing a special edition of Diaspora Talk with the Aja team that are currently over here in the U.S. Aja team are currently over here in the U.S. and is the convention 2023 that is taking place. But let's leave you with this one, a play of Who Are You, Baby by Councilor Tiawanse Gonglo on the Candidates Unfiltered program recently. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Hey.
Who are you, baby?
Oh yeah.
Who are you, baby?
Come on, yeah. Hey.
Who are you, baby? Who are you, baby?
Wonderful.
Yeah, as I do. So that's Morris Dolly. You remember?
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for that beautiful rendition of Who Are You, Baby? Yeah, did you all enjoy it?
Yes.
That was wonderful. How did it feel playing again?
Good. I mean, I learned everything that was available in school.
Yeah.
I was even trying to learn accordion, to learn playing the piano.
Many times when Liberians come to the States, driving becomes an issue for them. So the train coming here will give people the opportunity to find better jobs, to be able to move around easily, and will cut down some of the costs that we incur on ourselves. Some of the older people, we got people that have to go for them and bring them to buy their groceries. Now, they can do it on their own. The Blue Line coming to Brooklyn Park, especially where we are concentrated, will be a blessing to most of us.